Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video I'm going to be doing a tack cleaning, sort of like my falling off stories. So I'm going to basically tell you all the times that I have fallen off whilst cleaning my tack. So I have fallen off a lot of times. I only really say to YouTube the ones that we got on video, so I've fallen off a lot more times. And I thought I would do it tack cleaning because the other day I went for a ride and it started raining and we were out on a hack. So on my saddle here it's kind of got like lots of dots where the rain was, so I'm going to try and get rid of that. I'm not sure how easy that's going to be. I'll do some close-ups in a sec of the dots. So if you want to get your tack and clean it or do something whilst listening to this, then that is amazing. Or if you just want to watch me cleaning my tack, then it might be nice and satisfying, so you can do that. So yeah, I'll show you the dots and then we'll get into it. I'm not sure how well you can see it on camera, but basically all over here there's like little dots where the raindrops were. So like there and stuff. And also a bit on the sides like here, but I don't know if you can see it so well on camera. So I'm going to try and fix some of them, see how difficult it is. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my first ever fall, which I think the first time I fell off was when I was 8, I think. So I was quite young, and so I was the sort of person that I thought falling off your horse was really cool. Like, and there was a thing that's like you have to fall off 7 times to be a proper rider. And I really wanted to, like, you know, so I wanted to, it's not that I wanted to fall off, I just thought it was like really cool to have fallen off your horse, but then obviously like you don't really want to be like falling off your horse all the time. So I sort of wanted to be able to tell the story that I fell off my horse without actually falling off, which is kind of weird. But yeah, so I'm not going to say like any names of the ponies or like the owners, so I'm just going to say like the little bay or the like grey horse. So it was I learnt to ride on a little Shetland that looked a little bit like Teddy and Bear, maybe a tiny bit bigger, I'm not sure. So I learnt to ride on her, and so it was at my first like, oi Chino. It was at my first pony club event, or like rally that I did, and it was also my first ever jump, and we were going round the course, and then, so I had this like little strap on my saddle, like that goes sort of like here, that you can just hold on to basically, and I had one of them, and halfway through the course, it like came undone, or like snapped or something, so, and at the time I didn't have much like balance when I was riding, so I just literally like relied on that. And if it broke, then it made me very like wobbly. So I stopped halfway through the course, and the lady who was leading me, she like was like, okay, just hold the mane or something, and I was like really nervous, I guess that's the word. And so we kept going around the course. We were like 3 jumps from the finish, and just keep in mind that I did not know how to jump. It was just like, oh, let's try some jumps. I did not know that you had to sort of like lean forward over the jump, so I was just hanging there, like sort of going like, wee. And on the last jump, she did a big jump, and I went sort of, not over her head, but like over her sort of head and sideways over her neck. And afterwards, the lady who was leading me said, I did try to catch her, and I almost fell off twice that day, but the other time she kind of grabbed the side of me and sort of pushed me back up. That was the lady who was leading me. So yeah, that was my first fall, and my mum was filming it until like halfway through when we stopped, because she thought we finished the course when we stopped, when the thing snapped or broke or came undone or something. So she stopped filming because she thought it was the end of the course. So she sadly did not get it on camera, so I can't put it in. But all the ones that I did get on camera, I'll put them in this video so you can watch them if you're watching it on, if you're watching it. So that was my first ever fall. So my second ever fall, I had quite a big gap between falls, especially at the start. So my second ever fall was on quite a spicy Dartmoor. She was like one of those sort of speedy ponies, but I could control her, but only just, because I was not a very confident rider at the time. And so we were at Pony Club again, so there was a couple horses in the arena having it was Christmas time, so it was like a Christmas lesson, and something happened that each person had to leave except for us. We were the only people left, so it wasn't the end of the lesson, but everyone else was just busy or had to go for some reason. So it was just me and the pony I was riding, and obviously my instructor and my mum and stuff. But I was doing some jumps, and she was like, so you go round to that jump, over to that jump, and showed me the course. So I did it, and then the pony started doing quite a fast canter around the school. And at the time I was not used to cantering. I don't know if I had even cantered before. And I think I lost my reins, because I remember her saying sit back and come on, hold on, you missed the jump or something, not realising. And then because I lost my reins, or something happened that I could basically not control her, she kept cantering, and because I didn't have any brakes, or I couldn't steer her, she just ran into she cantered to the wall of the arena. It was an indoor arena, and she was coming up to it are you going to tell me to turn or not? So I didn't tell her to turn, because I was basically not trying to do that, and she just stopped. She went from canter to halt in front of the wall, and I basically went flying over her head and sort of face planted into the wall, and then fell down onto the floor, that was probably one of my worst falls. Yeah, it was quite scary, but luckily, I don't know how, I did not get hurt, which you would think if you get thrown into a wall, it must hurt, but I guess my helmet did a good job at saving me. So yeah, that is another reminder to always wear a helmet when riding. So that was a very sort of dramatic fall, and then afterwards I just got back on and walked around. So that was my second fall, and then my other falls were so it was on a different pony, and so it was another Dartmoor. Why, I didn't even wet it. It was on another Dartmoor pony. So it was on yet another Dartmoor pony. This one was very good, not speedy or a very amazing little pony that I sort of got my confidence back on. And so she was not a pony that would spook very often. And so there was the arena, it was an outdoor arena with all the corners. And we were going round, and I think I might have been riding bareback, or no, that was the other time. I think I was just riding without stirrups, so I was a little bit like not so secure in the saddle, and someone walked around the corner to the arena, and she did not expect anyone to come because like of the way it comes in, you can't really see anyone until they're right round the corner. So someone came around the corner of the arena, and she did not know that they were there, and suddenly this person just like appeared. So she spooked, and yeah, I just sort of slid off the side, and I think I sort of landed like, I sort of did like, how can I describe it? I did go face first, and I sort of landed on my hands first, but I think I sort of did like a roll or something. So like it was sort of a side fall, like a not very dramatic fall, it was just a kind of little whoopsie sort of fall. So I was also not hurt on that fall, luckily. So that was my third fall, I think. And then I got back on, and I think I just did it again, did some more riding. I was going to say tackless, without stirrups. Not that I fell off again. So yeah, I got back on and kept on going. So then the other time was on that same Dartmoor. I rode her for a little while, I think about a year, maybe not quite a year, maybe more, I don't know, but it was around the time of a year. And so I was riding bareback. It was probably one of my first times riding bareback. And I was going around that same corner, and I think it was the same person that went round. And she basically did the same thing. She spooked at the person who came around the corner, and I went off the side, but that time I actually landed on my feet, which was quite, people don't usually land on their feet when they fall off, so that was very lucky of me to land on my feet after falling off, which I think it still counts as a fall if you land on your feet, because like, if like I got off on purpose, then I guess that would be a dismount, but like, I didn't mean to come off the pony. So yeah, that one, I obviously didn't get hurt. I landed on my feet, and when it happened, I was a bit like, ooh, and then afterwards, when I realised, me and the lady, we were like, oh, I just landed on my feet. That was quite amazing. So that was my other fall. What falls did I have after that? I think I fell off Bear once, but I didn't ride her an awful lot because she was very tiny. But basically what happened was I was trotting up the field on her with my mum leading, and I was bareback, because when I sort of ride, and Teddy sometimes, but I normally do it bareback, especially with Bear. So yeah, we were just trotting up, and I sort of just did a bit of like, you know when you're like trotting and you sort of, it's really bouncy and you just slide off the side, like not at all dramatic. So it was just that. I think I sort of just landed a bit sideways, I think, because I sort of landed on one foot and then just sort of stumbled back, so it was not at all like dramatic or anything. And then I think we just like, everybody laughed after that, like including me. So yeah, that wasn't a very dramatic fall. So I think my other fall, I can't even remember what number I'm on, I think number 4 or 5, was on Chino. So I've fallen off quite a few times on Chino now, so I guess you can tell that I ride him quite a lot. Oh no, I had that other time on Chino. So this was before we actually like got him here, and it was like at the yard he used to be at, and I was gonna canter, I still had a saddle, but I was just without stirrups, or maybe I was bareback. I'm not sure, but either one of those two. And I started sort of sliding to the side, and I managed to sort of grab on, but for a minute, and then I was just sort of dangling off the side of him, and then I couldn't really hold myself up or push myself back up again, so I just kind of had to let go and just flop down because I didn't have the strength to keep holding on or pull myself. Nice Chino. So yeah, that was a bit of a also not very dramatic fall. I just remember I was just dangling there and I was like shouting to my mum, who was at the other side of the arena, like, "Mum, come and get me quick." But by the time she got to the other side, it was too late. But yeah, nice Chino. He keeps doing like snorty things. So that was my other fall. I can't remember what number now. And then my other falls on Chino. Okay, I've had quite a few falls on Chino. The next one was when we had him here, and it was the jumps that we built, one of the first jumps, and the highest like level I think was 40 centimeters, maybe even 50. So I had to start off at 40 or 50 centimeters without starting off with like smaller jumps first. So he went straight over it. He did like, it was quite a nice jump, I'd say, and I did get that one on video. I probably could have stayed on, but he basically did a big leap jump, like where they sort of fling themselves over it, probably like a stride early or something. So it gave me a bit of a boing and kind of shot me forward. And then I just landed on his neck and I was sort of bouncing there. And I probably, if I really like wanted to, I could have stayed on. But then he put his head down to eat, so I just kind of slid off the front. So I do have that video. That was the first fall I caught on video, so I will put it in now. So the next fall on Chino was, when was it? How many times have I fallen off in this field? I think I've only fallen off him once. Oh no, I fell off him that other time. So another time was actually tackless. What a surprise. I don't think anyone has ever fallen off tackless. And so basically I wasn't even on him properly. I just did like a side, I tried to vault onto him basically, and I was sort of halfway of him when you're like, your leg isn't quite over, you're just sort of with like your belly on their back, sort of when you're about to like put your leg over. And I overestimated how high I needed to jump to get onto him, and I basically just face planted off the other side. That was probably the only fall that I actually got hurt, which it wasn't at all bad. I just sort of twisted my wrist a bit when I landed, which I sort of did like a face plant sort of thing, but it wasn't like broken, or I don't think you could even see. And then like by the next day it was pretty much fine. So again, not very dramatic. And that one, my mum, I think she was about to start filming, but then like it happened, and then it was just a very funny fall. So now on to my next one. Okay, so the next fall is, I think it was the one at Pony Club Camp. I feel like I'm missing one. I don't know, if it comes back to me I'll say it. So the next one was at Pony Club Camp. If you're wondering, I just changed the water, so if anything has changed then that's probably why. So yeah, I was at Pony Club Camp. It was my first ever camp, and I actually fell off twice at Pony Club Camp, so I'll tell you both of those falls. So the first one was, where was it? Oh yeah, it was at the warm-up, a very obvious place to fall off, in the warm-up. So I was just like warming up, and my instructor was telling us to like trot down the hill without stirrups, and I was like, all right, I'll do it, which Chino is a bit funny downhill sometimes, but because like my instructor was telling me to, I was like, well, she must know what she's doing. She'll probably like know that this ground is better or something. So I did what she said. I trotted down the hill, without stirrups, which it's not like it was a very steep hill or anything. It was just a sort of, like, probably less steep than our field, so it wasn't very steep at all. And Chino just stumbled on a rock and he fell down onto his like 2 front knees, and I just did a roly-poly off his head. So again, not extremely dramatic. And that teacher was a little bit, should we say, old-fashioned. So she was like, come on, don't cry, just get back on, it's all right. Check your pony's all right first, which it is always horse first. But when it comes to falling off, I think you should also check that you're not injured, which she said, you're okay, you're not hurt. And I thought, how do you know that I'm not hurt? If I like broke a bone, then how would you be saying that? But anyway, so I got back on and kept going. It was all okay. And then the next day of camp, I fell off again. That was the one time I fell off sort of twice in a row, my 2 closest falls together. And it was with the same teacher. Where did I put the other one? Oh, here. The same like teacher for the day, and it was like a ditch jump. Like, it wasn't at all deep. Like, most of the other, I think all the other horses that were there just stepped in it and then stepped out again. It was literally like 10 centimeters deep, so like not at all deep. But Chino wanted to proper badminton jump it, and so he did. He jumped over the whole thing, which I was not expecting him to do. And then as soon as he landed, he put his head down to eat grass because he's a greedy horse. Pony, sorry. So yeah, he just put his head down to eat grass, and I fell off again. I did exactly the same as last time. I just did a roly-poly over his head. So that was very, also, again, undramatic. Just the only sort of extra drama was that when I fall off, I don't know if everybody's the same, but I always get a little bit sort of shaken up, and I sometimes cry when I fall off. Hopefully I'm not the only one. And she said to me, come on, you can't cry this time, because that time it was funny. So my riding teacher just said to my face that my fall I just had was funny. So I was a little bit like, what did you just say to me? Like, she didn't ask if I was okay or anything, which, just so you know, this was my old, like, she wasn't even my riding teacher. She was just the person I was put with at Pony Club Camp. So it's not anyone that I still have riding lessons with now. So yeah, that was a bit like, okay. So the next fall was, I swear I fell off another time. Maybe not. No, I'm sure I've fallen off another time. Well, I'll tell you the other time until I remember it. So that time was actually pretty recent. I think it was last week, or yeah, I think it was 1 week ago. Oi, Chino. 1 week ago from the day that I am filming this. So I don't know when I'm going to upload it. But yeah, 1 week ago from the day that I've done that backwards. No, I'm not. No, I haven't. Oh yeah, I have. 1 week ago from the day that I'm filming this. And it was actually not on Chino. It was on my friend Ivy's pony Solo, which we sort of said this joke afterwards, because I'll tell you in a sec what happened. But basically she fell off Chino when she came. That's actually in my jumping video. I'll put it up here somewhere, that she fell off Chino. Basically, I was riding Solo up it was like, I do have the video, but the fall was like 2 seconds after she stopped filming, and it was round a bush, so you wouldn't have been able to see it anyway. So basically, I'll say it in a second. I'm going to quickly get my bridle. Sorry, I said I was going to get my bridle. I actually haven't done all the steps yet, so I'm not getting my bridle quite yet. But so I was cantering up a little bit of, like on a green bit, on a bit of grass on the side of the road. Like it was big, it wasn't like close to the road at all or anything. But I was just cantering up this bit of grass, and so it was like on the side of the like road, there was a little like sort of not bank, but like a, I guess sort of like a bank that like goes up, a bit of like grass or like mud that goes up, and then grass was on it. So I was cantering along, and then I couldn't stop cantering because Solo's quite a forward pony, unlike Chino, which I'm used to Chino, and I literally just have to like pull his rein tiny, and he's like, you want me to stop? Sure, I'll slow down, or I'll like just stop straight away. But Solo's not like that, and he kept on cantering for a little while, and then it was starting to get close to the bank and the road. So it's like, okay, this is a bit dangerous because if a car comes, then this is not going to be good. But he basically like was almost like cantering still, and I could not get him to stop cantering. And he I don't think he jumped down the bank. It was quite a sudden step down that I wasn't expecting. And basically well, I'm going to say jumped, but he didn't really jump. He just sort of did a big step down. And then he did a very sharp turn to avoid running into the hedge on the other side of the road. And I went flying over his like shoulder and landed on the hard concrete of the road, which it sort of hurt a bit, but like not so much that like we had to call an ambulance or like anything bad. I just got back on again and kept going, which I think that's kind of the thing I've always done when I fall off. Just get back on and keep going. So yeah, and the funny thing was that when that happened, so like Chino normally just stops and eats, but Solo just trotted down the road running away from me. But luckily Ivy was at the other side, so she managed to grab him. So he didn't run all the way back to the stables. So yeah, that was the time that I fell off Solo. And so yeah, the joke that we have is that we basically take it in turns falling off each other's horses, because I fell off Solo, and then like 3 days later she came to mine, and she fell off Chino. So it's like we took it in turns falling off each other's horses. Like we got revenge, which we didn't do it on purpose, obviously. It was just like a thing that just happened, like what a coincidence. So yeah, that was the time that I fell off Solo. So I'm not going to go into too much detail with Ivy's fall because this video is about my falls, but because I've been talking about it quite a bit, I'll just quickly tell you what Ivy's fall was like. So basically, we went over a jump, and I don't know if it was her first time jumping 50. I think it was, but it was a 50 centimetre jump, which for both of us, it is quite big. So and I'm not used to jumping very big normally, although I do want to start doing that soon. So yeah, she did the jump, and Chino did quite a leap over it. So yeah, and then she just flew over his head and did a sort of front flip in the air. And we did get that one on video, so I'll put it in now. Oh, I know the other one. So, okay, one more fall I think that I've had. So basically it was at, okay, now I am going to get my bridle. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I've got my bridle. I think I'm only going to clean the bit because I've only got one more fall to say, I think, unless I remember of another one. And then it'll be the end of the video. So I'm only going to clean the bit, and I did clean my tack the other day, so it's not too bad. I might just give it a quick like sort of scrub over, but not like a really big clean. So basically the other fall was on, it actually wasn't on Chino, and I did get it on video, so I'll put that video in sometime around now. And so it was on a grey, which I couldn't bring Chino, so I didn't borrow one of the horses, but someone let me ride their horse, which was like a very good pony, and I think normally that horse was very well behaved, but I think all horses have their excitable moments or excited days, and because he was at a different place, he got a bit excited, and I asked him to canter, and he was like, "You want me to canter? Sure." And I think also on my fault that I did, I was expecting him to not want to canter because I think he was a bit of a lazy horse as well anyway. Like, not lazy, but you know, kind of like Chino, a bit like minimum effort. So I thought I was going to have to give him a really big kick to get him to canter, but I didn't, and he cantered straight away, and then he sort of, I think he did like a buck, or like not a buck, like more of a bronc, I think, and then he like suddenly stopped and turned, and I went over his head, and I didn't quite hit the fence, I don't think, or I landed on the ground and sort of spun round with the momentum and sort of hit the fence a bit, but it wasn't extremely bad. I did say ow when I landed, but it didn't, I think it was just the moment like and then I was fine after. And I got back on. I only trotted, I didn't canter when I got back on, but the main thing is that you get back on the horse, as long as you're not injured. So yeah, that was the other fall that I had. So yeah, I think that's all of my falls, which is probably not. I'm probably gonna, when I'm editing this, I'm gonna go, oh, and remember another one. So I might just not say it, or I might like edit it in. So if like now, sometime maybe, or sometime through the video, there's a bit of me just like talking in a different place maybe, or like in text instead, then that's why, because I probably forgot one now, which I wouldn't be surprised if I did, because it happens a lot that when I'm editing it, I'm like, oh, I should have said that, or something like that. So I think that's all my falls. If you want me to do any more sort of like talking videos, like either whilst tack cleaning or grooming or mucking out, then I will be more than happy to do that. I could even do like whilst poo picking, if I just have the microphone with me, or like attach the camera to the wheelbarrow or something. And what things do you want me to say, like all my times falling off? I might do one soon of when we went to view horses, when we were like looking, because both, when we went to view Chino and Teddy, it's not that things went wrong, it was more that sort of bad things happened, should I say, which it wasn't like crazy bad, because we still decided to like not buy them but get them, but it was sort of like adventure sort of stuff that happened, so I'll do one of that. So I think that's it for today's video. So if you liked the video, then please like and subscribe, because it really does help the channel grow, and it is completely free, so it's not like you have to pay. So it's completely free, a way of supporting the channel and helping it grow, so that hopefully I can make a lot more nice videos for you to watch or listen to. So yeah, any videos that you want, let me know in the comments, because I feel like that's the thing that a lot of people struggle with. Like at the first like month or year or little while of having a YouTube channel, it's like, oh, I've got loads of videos to make, and then it's like, what video do I make now? So let me know what videos you want. I am going to try and do some more riding videos in the summer, because I need to make the most of the summer. I might do like a satisfying grooming video or a bath Chino video, which Chino doesn't mind being bathed as long as it's not close to his head, but Teddy hates it. I gave him his first bath like a month ago or something, and he hated it. So yeah, that's it for today's video, so thank you so much for watching. I'm not going to talk any longer and bore you. I'll probably just finish cleaning this bridle quickly. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye!